It's much easier to become bitter than to become better, because you need to be very, very intentional about becoming better. It's easy to become bitter because you just live your life by default and you will become bitter. Today is 415 day that I come here to share lessons that I learn and I'm learning. I hope those lessons support your dreams, your goals, and allow you to become the person that you want to become. Yesterday I started to speak about the past. I shared that every single person has past, like every single person has present, every single person has future. And our future is determined by our definition of our past. So yesterday I shared that we are able to become better or bitter because of our past. And I shared acronym PAST and what kind of person you become when you use your past to become better. So today I will share acronym PAST, but what kind of person you become when you choose to become bitter. Because it is your choice. It's much easier to become bitter than to become better, because you need to be very, very intentional about becoming better. It's easy to become bitter because you just live your life by default and you will become bitter. But if you really want to live a joyful life, you need to be intentional about becoming better and use your past to become better, because some people are used by their past to become better, and you need to use your past to become better. I truly believe that you become the most joyful when you use your imagination to create your future, and then you live your day-to-day life to achieve that future, and you use your past to move much faster, because all those lessons in the past, when you use those lessons in the past, you are able to act every single day much better because you learn a lot of lessons. But when I think about past, it's very important not to spend too much time on it, because you will move to analysis paralysis. But it's better to use it for your own benefit or leave it behind, because it's much more important to act than to analyze your past. So today we'll share 4 extra letters. What kind of person you become when you don't use your past for that benefit and you allow your past to use you. So first letter P stands for pessimistic. You become very pessimistic. All those difficulties that was in the past, all those mistakes and failures, seems that it was to you. All those things happen to you, and you become very pessimistic because you believe that what happened in the past will happen in the future. And of course, because you're pessimistic, you become very passive. So that means you do not act anymore. And when you don't act, you don't get any results. And then of course that cycle goes. And of course that cycle goes and goes and goes, because every time when you don't take action, you don't get results, and then you become more and more and more pessimistic. Second letter A stands for abusive. That means that every single time when you allow your past to use you, you become more and more abusive. Most time you are more abusive to yourself, because you start saying things that you cannot achieve anything. You will not be able to do anything like that. You are not enough. So that means you start using words that is hurting you. A lot of times people are beating themselves much more than other people beating themselves. So that means that you need to be very careful, because after a lot of mistakes, after a lot of failures, people become abusive. They start using some addictions, smoking, drinking, movies, games, clubs, alcohol. There are so many places that people are looking for pleasure, but this is not where you're supposed to find pleasure, because those are very short pleasures. But when you're really looking for long-term pleasures, you need to start improving yourself and get better, and start going after risky things in life. Third letter S stands for selfish. People who look in the past and who are bitter, they always looking at what happened to them, but they do not ask about what happened to people around them, and they become very, very selfish. And of course, if you are consumed about yourself, or consumed about all your failures and mistakes, you're not able to think about any other people. But when you want to add tremendous value to other people, you need to stop thinking about all the things that happened to you in the past and start thinking, okay, how I could add value to those people. So that means you need to improve yourself. And then, again, look into the past, what happened for you, and use all those benefits. Because a lot of times when I think about all the adversity, difficulties that you went through, there's a lot of people that are going through the same things. So that means you already went through that. So you're able to go and find people who are in exactly the same position that you were and help them to go through that much faster. So that means that you're able to use your adversity for adding value to other people. So that means you are able to be not selfish. And the last letter, T, stands for toxic. People who are consumed by themselves and who are very negative and pessimistic and abusive, they become very, very toxic. People do not want to be surrounded by negative people. They lose attitude. Everything is around very bad attitude. So that means that toxic people lose friends, lose job. They're not able to get any better jobs, and people become more and more toxic because it's a cycle all the time. But because every single day when you act as a toxic person, you lose something in your life. So that means we need to learn how to really let everything go and become attractive person, because toxic people makes people go away. Attractive people, of course, attracts people. And of course, when you become more attractive, you are able to improve your life. And of course, the more you improve your life, you become more and more positive. So meaning very careful how we look in the past, because your past could define your life. I truly believe that presence is the most important thing in our lives. And of course, if something happened bad in the past, we need to say, okay, how we can use that for our own benefit. But if you're not able to ask that question, so leave that past behind and you always say, what I could do today to move forward. I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.